Deportation significantly affected the development of the Balkar people. In 1944, during the Great Patriotic War, the Balkars were accused of collaborating with the German fascists and were deported to Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan. The exile of the Balkars lasted 13 years. In 1957, the repression was recognized as mistaken and illegal, and people were allowed to return to their homeland. The Kabardians historically lived on the plains, the Balkars in the mountains. This division remains to this day. Almost all high mountain villages are Balkar. Today in Kabardino-Balkaria, there are about 100 small villages inhabited only by Balkars. Most of them are in the Chagam, Charak, Elbrus districts, and Upper Balkaria. In the districts closer to the plains, villages are often mixed. Balkars and Kabardians live together there. The ethnic origin of the Kabardians is clear. They belong to the Adigi group, which is undisputed among historians. Most researchers agree that the Balkars are an ethnic group with a rich history, formed from various cultures and peoples. The Balkars emerged as a result of the mixing of the indigenous Caucasian population, including the Koban tribes, with the Alans, Bulgars, Khazars, and Kipchaks. After the Mongol invasion in the 13th century, the ancestors of the Balkars were pushed into mountain gorges. There they formed 5 large communities: Balkar, Malkar, Kolim, Bezangi, and Chagam. Among the Balkars, people with light hair and gray-blue eyes are often found. There are also blue-eyed blondes, which distinguishes them from other peoples of the Caucasus. Some historians believe that the peoples of the region were originally of a light race, but due to assimilation with Turks and Mongols, their skin and hair became darker. Genetically, the Balkars are represented by 5 main haplogroups. About 52% belong to the ancient indigenous Caucasian genotype, represented by haplogroups G2 and J2. About 45% of the Balkars belong to the so-called Eurasian haplogroups R1a, R1b, and Q1a, reflecting the mixed origin of this people. Haplogroup R1b originated in Central Asia or the Altai region. Later, carriers of this haplogroup migrated westward through the Iranian Plateau. In the territory of the Iranian Plateau, carriers of R1b established the state of Elam, which became an important stage in the region's history and the formation of peoples. The Sumerian state is connected with the fact that modern descendants of the Sumerians are considered to be the Assyrians, who have a very high percentage of haplogroup R1b, widely spread in Europe. Today, haplogroup R1b predominates in more than half of the population of Europe, especially among the Basques, English, Irish, Scots, and French. In deep chronology, common genetic roots of the Balkars with the peoples of the Caucasus, Europe, and Asia can be found, indicating the complex origin of this people. The Karachay-Balkar language belongs to the Palavtsian Kipchak group of Turkic languages, preserving ancient Turkic roots in its structure and vocabulary. Until the 1920s, the Balkars were called Mountain Tatars, or Turkified Caucasians, reflecting their historical affiliation and culture. Since 1924, the Balkar language alphabet has been based on Russian script, which facilitated literacy and language learning among the population. In ancient times, the Balkars were pagans with a cult of stones, sacred trees, and animism, which was characteristic of many peoples of the region. In 737, the troops of the Khazar Khaganate were defeated by the Arabs, and by treaty, the Khagan allowed everyone who wished to convert to Islam. A considerable number of Bulgar Borzan, ancestors of the modern Balkars, Karachais, and Kumiks, converted to Islam. But among the mountain Balkars, Islam spread less. Later, Islam gained wider spread, but the mountainous regions of the Caucasus preserved the traditional beliefs and cults of their ancestors. During the heyday of the Hellenic state in the 10th century, the ancestors of the Balkars adopted Orthodox Christianity, which was reflected in their culture and religious traditions. The modern Balkar calendar preserves the memory of Christianity. 4 out of 7 days of the week are named after saints such as George and Paraskeva. For example, György Kyun is Tuesday, the day of St. George, and Baraz Kyun is Wednesday, the day of St. Paraskeva, preserved from ancient times. Friday was called Bayram Kyun, the day of the Virgin Mary, indicating the deep influence of orthodoxy in the lives of the Balkars' ancestors. However, the Mongol-Tatar invasion dealt a serious blow to Christianity, slowing the further development and preservation of this religion among the Balkars. The Islamization of the Balkars began in the 16th century under the influence of the Crimean Tatars and Ottoman Turks, which changed the religious landscape of the region. By the beginning of the 18th century, Islam had become the main religion of the majority of the peoples of the North Caucasus, including the Balkars. The rapid Islamization is explained by the coincidence of Islamic moral norms with the traditional Balkar code Tau Adet, which valued strict ethics. Islam later merged with local customs, and Sharia came into balance with Adat, the unwritten rules of the Balkar people. Until the 19th century, there was a mixture of various religious customs. Faith and pagan traditions coexisted in the culture of the Balkars. Today, most Balkars are Sunni Muslims, but pagan holidays and rituals continue to be preserved in their lives. In every Balkar village, simple houses stand alongside ancient buildings, reflecting the connection between past and present in the mountainous region. Balkars traditionally settled on mountain slopes and at the edges of gorges, using natural features for living and protection. The gorges are located near rivers, and dwellings were placed chaotically. All still have a terraced appearance, where houses are stacked one above another. Narrow, winding streets often resemble paths and can abruptly end in dead ends, creating an unusual layout of the auls. Since ancient times, houses were built from stone without using binding materials, giving them special strength and a unique appearance. The main branch of the traditional Balkar economy is livestock breeding, which remains important today. Today, many Balkars engage in trade at tourist bazaars, where they sell woolen products and souvenirs. Some residents of Balkaria open cafes with national cuisine, attracting guests with authentic dishes. Almost all the famous 5,000ers of the Caucasus are located in Balkaria, including Elbrus, which the Balkars call Mingi Tau, Eternal Mountain. The homeland of the healing kefir fungus is the foothills of Elbrus, from where it began spreading worldwide since 1867. To this day, the Balkars receive requests to send kefir fungus from the most remote corners of the planet.